So do I think Bronny belong in the league? Hell no. He ain't that good. He ain't even that good to be playing overseas against them overseas players.
Charleston White dropped that truth bomb, and the footage we're about to break down might make you agree with him. We've got cameras catching JJ Redick screaming from the sidelines, a frustrated coach pushing Bronny so hard that he actually stormed off mid-game. Then you have LeBron himself getting right in Stephen A. Smith's face courtside when the commentary got a little too real. This situation goes way deeper than hoops. It's about power, image, and total control. Once you peel back the layers and see what really went down, you'll understand why nobody in the NBA wants to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole. Just follow the money, it tells you everything you need to know. The Lakers grabbed Bronny James 55th overall in the 2024 draft. Usually, that spot gets you a flimsy two-way contract and a prove it or pack your bags ultimatum. But not this time. Bronny walked away with 4 years and a fully guaranteed $7.9 million. That means a rookie who averaged just 4.8 points in college secured nearly $8 million before proving he even belonged on the floor. Players drafted in the top 10 don't always get that kind of job security. So, what made this kid the exception? One word: James. That last name carries more leverage than any other in modern basketball, and LeBron knows exactly how to wield it. The rumors were swirling way before draft night. Those whispers turned into loud allegations when Rich Paul, LeBron's right-hand man and one of the biggest power brokers in sports, allegedly warned NBA teams not to mess with the plan. The message was clear: don't draft Bronny. If you do, he's going to play overseas. Teams read that threat loud and clear. Everyone knew what it meant. LeBron wanted his son in a Lakers jersey, period. Crossing that line meant headaches no general manager wanted to deal with. And just like magic, Bronny fell right into the Lakers' lap when their turn came up. LeBron's dream became reality. Father and son side by side, rocking the purple and gold, while the rest of the basketball world completely lost its mind. Look, any dad with that kind of influence might have done the same thing. But that's not the issue. The real question is whether it's fair when someone else's dream gets snatched away in the process. While Bronny was collecting his guaranteed millions, you had G League grinders averaging 20 points a night who couldn't even get a text back, guys who have been busting their tails for years.
But we think we do.
You just hit it on the head. Bronny James. It was a big debate about that nepotism and getting it out the mud. A lot of people, majority of black people, we value getting it out of the mud instead of somebody in our family helping us, which happens all over, corporate America, everywhere, sports, everywhere that we could think of, acting gigs. We see it everywhere.
Back at USC, Bronny played 25 games, averaging 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists on just 36.6% shooting. Stats like that usually earn you a polite thanks for coming and a goodbye. They certainly don't get you a multi-million-dollar deal with one of the most iconic franchises on earth. But the truth is, that decision was made long before he stepped onto a college court. The ink was dry and the script was written. Then came the real test, the NBA. Bronny had to prove he could actually hang at this level. But the moment the bright lights hit, the cracks started to show. By late 2025, he had only managed to play 10 games, and his numbers told the story nobody wanted to say out loud. All the hype in the world couldn't hide the truth anymore. That's when the tension finally exploded for everyone to see. 2.1 points, 1.8 assists, shooting a rough 29.6% from the field and 27.3% from deep. Those aren't rookie growing pains. Those are red flags. That's not something you fix with a couple of practices or pep talks. Those are the kind of stats that say this guy shouldn't even be in the rotation. And trust me, everybody in the building knew it. The coaches, the players, and especially the fans watching it unfold live. Then came the moment that flipped the whole narrative. During a game, cameras caught JJ Redick, the Lakers head coach and LeBron's old podcast partner, absolutely screaming at Bronny from the sideline.
The sideline with his injury. Luka's in pretty deep, kicks it into the corner. Bronny getting the start tonight. Has seen plenty of action.
He's seen plenty of action. The clip went viral instantly. Twitter or X couldn't stop dissecting it. Instagram timelines were flooded with re-uploads, and YouTube had it trending within hours. Everyone wanted to know what pushed Redick to snap like that. See, Redick had been drilling something he called the .5 mentality into his squad. Basically, make your move in half a second. No hesitation, no second guessing. See the shot, take it. Simple basketball. But when Bronny caught the ball wide open and decided to pass instead of shoot, Redick lost it. You could clearly hear him yell, "Bronny, you've got to shoot the ball." The kid played only 10 minutes that game and took just 2 shots total. You can't survive in the NBA if you're scared to pull the trigger. And Redick knew it. If he let it slide, if he treated Bronny differently just because of his father, he'd lose the respect of the entire locker room. So, he did what any real coach would have done. He called him out right there in front of everyone. That clip spread like wildfire and forced fans to pick a side. Some said Redick was being a real coach, holding Bronny accountable like anyone else. Others called it harsh, claiming it was wrong to embarrass a 21-year-old kid who is already under more pressure than any rookie in history. Surprisingly, Bronny handled it like a pro. When reporters asked him about the moment, he said he understood where Redick was coming from. He explained he was working on being more effective off the ball, trying to fit into the system. It was a calm, mature answer that made people think, okay, maybe this kid will figure it out eventually. And for a brief moment, it looked like he might. When he got sent back down to the G League, he finally had a breakout game. 15 points on 5 of 10 shooting with 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. For the first time, people saw flashes of real potential, but just when it seemed like things were turning around, everything blew up again. And this time, it was way worse. December 2025, a G League matchup with the South Bay Lakers. Bronny gets into a heated argument with one of the coaches, reportedly either interim coach Perry Huang or an assistant. The cameras were rolling, and it got ugly fast. You could see the frustration in both of them. Raised voices, tense body language. And then out of nowhere, Bronny walked off the court. Not during a timeout, not after the game. In the middle of the play. By December 5th, YouTube had the footage titled Bronny James Walks Off Court. Heated clash with G League coach caught on camera. Within hours, it had thousands of views. Within days, it was everywhere. Sports outlets, gossip pages, reaction channels, everyone had something to say. And this time, it wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about respect, about accountability, and about whether Bronny really thought he was above the rules because of his last name. To make matters worse, his stat line that night didn't help his case. 10 points on 4 for 12 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 turnovers. You don't get to walk off the court when you're putting up those numbers. Let's be clear though, no punches were thrown. Nobody got physical. It was all verbal. But the optics? Brutal. Millions saw it. And from that moment on, the public perception of Bronny completely shifted. Up until then, people could argue he was just a young player trying to figure it out. But walking off mid-game? That's not a learning curve. That's an ego problem. That's a player acting like the rules don't apply to him. And fans weren't shy about calling it what it was. Social media exploded with debates. Some said the coaches went too far. Others said they didn't go far enough. Everyone started asking the same question. Would this even be happening if his last name wasn't James? And then Charleston White jumped in, and he didn't pull any punches. He said, Bronny James going to the NBA? Please, the kid only averaged 4 points a game in college. Locking down a guaranteed $7 million contract as a rookie? That is unprecedented. It feels like snatching a meal right off another man's table. He didn't put in the work for that. It's a harsh take, sure. But the sting comes from the fact that it wasn't exactly false. Kwame Brown went straight for the jugular, claiming Bronny's entire existence in the NBA is just a handout from LeBron. Then, you had Chandler Parsons labeling the whole situation as cringeworthy nepotism.
They wouldn't do that with nobody else.
I feel you.
If this was not LeBron James' son, the Lakers would not take the time to build with him
Absolutely.
and invest the time and the resources that they're doing if this wasn't LeBron James' son.
Yeah.
They're only doing this out of nepotism.
Bronny James going to the NBA. He only averaged 4 points a game in college. He got a guaranteed contract for $7 million as a rookie, which is not heard of. You don't think that's taking food out of somebody else's plate? He didn't earn it.
While the old heads were tearing the James family apart, a different group stood up to defend them, dropping facts that actually made critics pause. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski laid it out clearly. The league is built on family connections. He is not wrong. The Bus clan has controlled the Lakers since 1979. Danny Ainge's kid, Austin, is running the show for the Jazz. Mike Malone got his foot in the door thanks to his dad being a top-tier assistant. Josh Kroenke is the boss in Denver solely because his father, Stan, holds the deed to the team. If the whole association runs on bloodlines, why is the internet melting down over LeBron doing it? Some folks even flipped the script, arguing this is actually positive. One point really resonated. Historically, black families haven't had access to the kind of generational leverage that rich white families have used forever. LeBron looking out for his boy isn't corruption. It is balancing the scales. He is using his clout to guarantee his lineage gets the security and breaks that other dynasties are born with. One pundit cracked a joke about it. My old man hooked me and my friends up with gigs at the GameStop warehouse right out of school. Did we deserve it? Nope. Were we grateful? Absolutely. It changed our trajectory. And that is the whole point. Life isn't a level playing field.
Hell, daddy ain't up at GameStop, can't get him no job. Shout
Yeah,
out to
that's
Philly
true.
Dog. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. My dad, when I graduated high school, he got me and all my homies jobs at the GameStop warehouse.
Yeah. So homie,
And we didn't earn it. We didn't earn it.
But did y'all appreciate it?
Oh, of course.
Did it enhance some of y'all life? So do I think Bronny belong in the league? Hell no. He ain't that good. He ain't even that good to be playing overseas against them overseas players. Bronny need to be a high school assistant basketball coach or a PE teacher somewhere. But he ain't good enough to play in no more league.
That blunt take struck a chord because, hate it or love it, there was truth in it. Networking runs the world, not just basketball. Why is LeBron the villain for playing the game better than everyone else? That is when Stephen A. Smith entered the chat. When Stephen A. talks, the sports universe pays attention. Fast forward to March 2025, Lakers against the Knicks. The broadcast picked up LeBron marching over to Stephen A. courtside, and the vibe was icy. You could feel the heat. LeBron leaned in, clearly telling the analyst to lay off his kid. The exchange went viral immediately. Slow-motion breakdowns and lip readers dissected every frame. Everyone had a theory. The very next morning, Stephen A. went on air and retaliated with way more force than anyone anticipated.
I think one of the important things to bring up is what, what you brought up in regards to the nepotism, because I don't want to hear it either. And I really appreciate and applaud you for bringing it up, because you hear people mumbling about that in the weeks and the days leading up to the draft. It is something that has permeated throughout the NBA for quite some time, okay? And on all levels. And no one has said anything. It's never been an issue that I can remember.
I was criticizing LeBron. Then he unloaded. Wasn't it you claiming your son was already better than current pros before he even declared for the draft? Didn't you say, if you want me, you have to take my boy? Aren't you the one who bypassed the entire merit-based system? Stephen A. was scorching the earth. He accused LeBron of rigging the game and dared him to deny it. He brought up the receipts, reminding the world that LeBron claimed Bronny was better than half the league before playing a single minute. That statement aged horribly, and Stephen A. made sure every listener knew it.
When I talked about Bronny James early in the season, and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James. LeBron James never addresses that with anybody. For some reason, no one ever asked him about that. Wasn't it you who said that Bronny James was better than some players in the NBA right now before he was even drafted? Wasn't it you who said, if you want me, draft my son because you wanted to play with your son for 1 year? Wasn't it you who literally circumvented meritocracy within the National Basketball Association?
Then he dropped the bombshell. He is lying when he claims I went after his son. When he approached me at the game, he was lying. That accusation turned a disagreement into a full-scale media war. The focus shifted from Bronny's performance to the escalating beef between the king and the commentator. Caught in the crossfire, Bronny was just trying to play ball and survive in a league that stops caring about your last name the second the clock starts. But everyone is ignoring a massive piece of the puzzle. Rewind to July 2023. Before the draft hype, Bronny collapsed during practice at USC, cardiac arrest. At 19, his heart stopped beating. Doctors found a congenital defect he'd had since birth. He needed surgery and missed half his freshman year just to get back on his feet. The kid essentially died on the hardwood and was resuscitated. Imagine the physical and emotional toll of returning from that. Stepping back into the arena requires something deeper than just skill. It demands a mental fortitude most of us will never understand. Every time he sprints or dunks, there is that lingering fear that his heart might stop again. Yet he suited up and kept chasing the dream. That resilience gets buried under all the talk about contracts and privilege. People forget this young man looked death in the eye and didn't blink. In a rare 2025 interview with The Athletic, he admitted he expected the heat. I see it all, he said. It fuels me. That isn't ego talking. It is survival mode. He has endured more trauma in 2 years than most navigate in a lifetime. Sure, maybe he didn't take the traditional route, but considering what he has overcome, maybe we should look past the name on the back of the jersey and appreciate the fight in the kid. When your heart fails at 19, airballs and screaming coaches don't seem like a big deal anymore. Staying alive puts everything else in perspective. Eventually, that grit translated to the court. On December 31st, 2025, playing the Memphis Hustle in the G League, Bronny absolutely went off. The kid put up 20 points, hitting 8 out of 11 from the floor, snagged 5 boards, and dished out 7 dimes. We aren't talking garbage time or media fluff here. That was a legit showing. It forced everyone to pause and think. Hold on. Is there a genuine pro baller buried beneath all that media circus? You catch glimpses of legitimate talent when his swagger is up, especially with that high-level defensive instinct. He anticipates the offense early. He is a blur in the open court, flexing those elite genes. And every now and then, he attacks the basket with some real ferocity. The ceiling is visible, but the pieces haven't clicked into place. You can't overlook the holes in his game, though. He is shooting a rough 27.3% from beyond the arc for his career. In the modern era, numbers like that for a backcourt player are freezing cold. Then look at his assist-to-turnover mark of 0.72. He is basically coughing up the rock as much as he is creating scoring chances. He is also lacking the height for his spot on the floor. Plain and simple. These are major hurdles that take time to clear. By January 2026, across 45 contests, he is posting 1.6 points, 1.1 assists, and 0.8 boards, while hitting only 30.2% overall and 25% from deep. There is no way to dress that up. It is ugly. Here is the kicker, though. Los Angeles hasn't waived him or shipped him out. Even with a 25-20 record in a brutal Western Conference postseason dogfight, they are keeping him on the roster. What is the logic there? That is the big mystery. One camp believes the organization genuinely sees a diamond in the rough worth polishing. The cynics suggest it is pure politics. Trading the kid means angering the king, a headache the front office desperately wants to avoid. Reality likely lands right in the middle. Experts looking at the trajectory see 2 distinct paths. Scenario 1. He evolves into a lockdown defender, a rotation piece who justifies his minutes through grit and smart. Scenario 2. The struggles continue until his dad hangs up the sneakers, rumored for 2026 or 2027, and the franchise quietly moves on once his shield is gone. Regardless, time is burning. He has roughly 2 years to show he belongs in the association on merit. That tension drives the narrative. The viral clips Coach Redick yelling, "The G League exit" are bigger than standard headlines now. They act as a mirror for how we view competition. For one group, it represents accountability, a rookie finding out the hard way that greatness demands a toll. For others, it feels cruel, like watching a young man buckle under a mountain of pressure. You have people screaming about privilege destroying the sport, while others just see a dad using his leverage to look out for his blood. As usual, the answer is complicated. Being totally honest, Bronny James is not a rotation-level pro at this moment. Can he get there? Does he deserve the runway to find out? We are watching that movie play out live. Ultimately, we are talking about a 21-year-old searching for his identity. Forget the famous last name or the debates about access. Look at him as just a hooper trying to carve out his own lane. The real question is whether the public will ever let him exist outside that shadow. The road ahead looks foggy, but one thing is certain, this saga has more chapters. If you are tracking this timeline and want to stay updated, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I will catch you guys in the next video.